Hi, welcome back. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're not going crazy being at home all the time. And I hope you're getting some exercise. That's an important thing, especially when movement is limited. Um, Before we get started with the regular lesson, remember last time we talked about the importance of projecting. Projecting means speaking with a loud, strong voice. And it's important for a couple of reasons. Um, some that you might not think about. If, if you're not speaking loudly enough, your audience can't hear you or can't hear you well. And then very often they'll start talking to each other and not paying attention to you, which kind of defeats the purpose of doing a presentation. So you've got to be loud for that. Also, a loud voice builds your confidence. If you've ever studied a martial art like karate or judo, or even if you didn't study it but you've seen it, you know how a karateka, an athlete, will make a loud sound. If, like, let's say they're going to break a piece of wood, they make a loud sound like "say" as they do, because that increases focus, increases power. And projecting works the same way. So what I'd like to do is ask you to stand up, and I know it seems strange to stand up and do this, when you're alone, and it's even stranger if there's somebody else there. But it really does help. And most of the time when you're doing a presentation, you will be standing up, so it's good practice. Stand up, and we talked about posture. Your body form is important. Please stand with your feet about shoulder width. Okay, so like 45 centimeters apart. Okay, so your body kind of forms the shape of a letter A, right? Okay, and I'm going to show you something called Sarnoff's wheel. And I don't know who Sarnoff was. He or she was some kind of a television personality, but who did training on how to do public speaking. And Sarnoff suggests that you start to get your mental focus, start with some certain phrases. So I'm going to say each one, and can you repeat it in a presentation voice? Imagine you've got 20 people in front of you and you're starting a presentation. You start by saying, "I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you are here. I have something special. I will give it to you." Okay. Now, can you repeat that, let's say 3 times yourself? You may want to stop the video and give yourself time. Okay. Can you look in your book on page 9? We're starting a unit called A Good Friend. And your first presentation will be, your first real presentation, I'm not counting the little ones you did before, we'll be talking about somebody who's a good friend, maybe your best friend. And even though, normally in class, I would ask you to fill out the questionnaire. Questionnaire means Anket. Anket is not an English word. I think it's German. A survey or questionnaire. Can you look at page 9 and answer the questions? Now, as I started to say, if you were in class, you'd be doing this with a friend. And that's not possible right now, but it's still a good idea to look at all the questions just because it gets you thinking about the things you're going to talk about. Okay, so turn off the video while you do that, but please answer in English and think about your answers. And then when you're ready, to turn the video back on. Okay, now we're on page 10. There's some words that describe personalities. Let's see if I can make it a little bigger on the screen. Okay. Words that describe personality. Many of these you know, but a couple might be new. A morning person. That's just what it sounds like. A morning person, somebody who likes morning, gets up early every day, even on the weekends when you don't have to. The opposite is a night person, somebody who hates to get up in the morning but likes to stay up late at night. Okay? Night person. Workaholic, somebody who works all the time and loves it. Somebody who's active, always moving, always doing something. Adventurous, likes to do new and kind of maybe dangerous or exciting things. Somebody who's funny, somebody who makes you laugh. Somebody who is laid back and relaxed. Doesn't get worried, doesn't get angry, is just cool with everything. Messy means not neat and clean. Think about your room at home. Some people keep everything beautiful all the time. That's the one at the beginning of the next list, neat and tidy. Somebody whose room is messy and their clothes are on the floor or all over the place is messy. Okay? Moody, somebody who gets angry a lot or sad a lot or whose emotions are always going way up and down. Okay? Somebody who's outgoing. Yeah, likes to meet people, likes to meet new people. Somebody who's quiet and serious. Okay? Quiet and serious. If you if any of these words are new, it'd be a good idea to look at the exercise in the book right under it, which gives some definitions. But if you know these words, let's go right on to the next part. People are going to talk about their friends. And before we listen, okay, what you're going to be doing, you hear these three people describe their best friends. And just circle the correct answer. So the first one, it says, Nick, we're friends since elementary, junior high, or high school. Listen, circle it. So before we do the listening, please take a minute, turn off the video, and read this whole part and see if there are any new words. Two that I'll bring up because I think they may be new for you. The last line about Nick says he likes sports, music, hanging out. Hanging out just means, being with friends, not really doing anything, just, talking or maybe go to a coffee shop, hanging out. Also, under the one with Sammy, the last one, third line, he is lazy, no energy. Active and energetic. Energetic has lots of energy. Okay? And funny. I think the other words are okay, but please turn off the video, check vocabulary, and turn it on when you're ready. Okay, here we go. This is Nick.
Nick's totally into classical music, and he loves playing the piano, usually 2 or 3 hours a day.
Oops, mistake. That's the next part. The first one, the introduction to Patrick describing Nick.
I've known Nick since junior high school, and he's one of my best friends. What kind of person is he? Well, I guess you can say he's pretty quiet and serious. Exactly the opposite of me. He likes spending a lot of time at home with his music, and he's not really into parties or hanging out. He's also not very neat and tidy. In fact, his room is a real mess. The floor is covered with his clothes. It kind of looks like a typhoon hit his room.
Okay, let's check. Just go over it quickly. They've been friends since junior high. He says our personalities are rather different. Actually, he doesn't say the word different. He says, he talks about Nick. He says, Nick is quiet and serious. And he says, not like me. And he says, Nick likes sports. Or I'm sorry, he says, Nick likes music. Okay? He also said he's messy. He's not at all neat and tidy. Okay? That was Nick. Next one's Hannah.
My friend Hannah is really fun. We only met a year ago at our part-time job, but already we feel like sisters. How would I describe her? Well, she enjoys going to parties, hanging out with friends, and meeting new people. Actually, we're both pretty outgoing and sociable, so that's good. She also likes trying new things and learning about new and different ideas. That definitely makes life more interesting.
Okay. We said Hannah, they met at their part-time jobs. Their personalities are similar. They're both outgoing. Hannah is adventurous. Emma doesn't say the word adventurous, but she says that Hannah likes trying new things and gives us that idea. She also likes meeting people. Okay, that's part of her outgoing personality. And finally, Jason talks about Sammy.
I met Sammy 3 years ago. We were first-year students in university in London. His personality type? Let's see. Definitely not the lazy type, that's for sure. Sammy's incredibly active and energetic. We both are. So that's probably why we became friends. He always wants to be outdoors, playing sports, hiking, running, whatever. He also likes to tell jokes, so my friends and I are always laughing when we hang out with him.
Okay. And I'm going to close that. Okay. We know that Sammy, they've known each other for 3 years. Their personalities are similar. Sammy is active and energetic. He loves outdoor sports. He is also funny. He likes telling jokes. Okay, now at the bottom of the page, please think about 3 of your friends. What are their names? How would you describe them? So you're talking about their personalities. And then what are examples of things they do that show that? Okay, please do this. Turn off the video while you're doing it. Okay, now why should you bother doing that if we're not checking it? Because we're building here. You're going to be doing a presentation about your friend. So it helps to think about a few friends to decide who you're going to talk about and start thinking of examples. On the next page, we're looking at their interests and activities. Let's just look at the vocabulary at the top. Like chatting online, going out to eat, going shopping, playing sports, seeing a movie, singing karaoke. By the way, in English, karaoke is often pronounced karaoke, but it's from the Japanese word, but just with a different pronunciation. Okay, now let's listen again, and check the answers for these three people. I'll back this up. This is the video I started to play before.
Nick's totally into classical music, and he loves playing the piano, usually 2 or 3 hours a day. I don't really enjoy classical music, but I'm a big fan of blues music. So, when Nick and I meet up, around once a month, I usually take him to one of my favourite live blues clubs. Actually, I think he's starting to like blues. Occasionally, I go with him to a classical concert in the city, but I always fall asleep in the middle of it.
Okay? By the way, on any of these, if you couldn't catch it, feel free to play it again. Okay? And as I said a couple of classes ago, you can watch them directly online if that makes it easier. Okay? And I just remembered I forgot to turn off the lights. So I will do that now, even though we missed part of it.
Hannah and I both love singing karaoke and going out to eat, especially to restaurants we've never tried before. That's what we often do on Saturdays. We go out for dinner, then sing karaoke for a couple of hours. Hannah likes Italian food, and I love Thai food, so we take turns choosing a different restaurant. That means it's always an adventure. And the karaoke is really fun, even though we're both terrible singers.
Okay? Wow, I look like a shadow. Okay, the first one, talking about Patrick, I think I forgot to check the answers, so let's go back. Patrick loves classical music, listens 2-3 hours a day. He likes going to classical concerts. I'm sorry, that's about Nick, but Patrick's talking about him. Patrick likes the blues, and so sometimes they go to blues concerts together, and Patrick's learning to like that. Emma is talking about Hannah. They both love singing karaoke and going to new restaurants. Hannah loves Italian. Emma likes Thai, so they take turns. And the last one, Jason is talking about Sammy.
Sammy loves trying new things, especially extreme sports. Right now he's into paragliding and kite surfing. That's a bit too much for me. I prefer running, cycling, and swimming. They're a lot safer and really good exercise. Actually, Sammy and I are training together for a triathlon race. That's what we do twice a week, on Wednesday evening and Sunday afternoon. After our training, we usually go to the nearest coffee shop to plan our next session.
Okay. I can close this for now. Okay. Sammy likes. Oh, I'm gonna try. Okay, let me turn the lights back on. Hi. Sammy likes adventures, dangerous sports, or sometimes called extreme sports, like paragliding. And they both are training for a triathlon, which is swimming, bicycling, and running. They train twice a week. I think he said Wednesday and Sunday. And they often go to a coffee shop after training just to talk. Okay? All right. Please look at the bottom of page 11. And, oops. Let's make this a little bigger. Let's do a quick language practice. Listen and repeat after me, okay? He loves playing the guitar. He hates playing the guitar. He can't stand playing the guitar. And can I encourage you, when we do listen and repeat, energy, emotion, don't just say, he loves playing the guitar. He loves playing the guitar, right? Okay. He likes watching sports. He doesn't like watching TV. She enjoys going to museums. She doesn't enjoy going to museums. She's into hard rock. She isn't into classical. We both love action movies. We both like adventure movies. We both enjoy karaoke. Okay. I'm going to give you an example. And then this is going to go into the homework. Okay, we just did this. When you were a first-year student, some of you used this book, and some of you used the same book, but the yellow level, First-Hand Success. And they were written by three people. Me, John Wiltshire, who's a teacher in Ebunka here, and Steve Brown. And Steve Brown was for many years my best friend. We met, 38 years ago here in Sendai. He was teaching at a Eikaiwa Gakko. I was teaching at a different Eikaiwa Gakko. And he eventually became the head teacher at his school. I became the head teacher at my school. So we were rivals, right? But we were good friends. And when I started working on writing this book, I invited him to be part of it. We're kind of different. He's kind of quiet. I'm not. He's rather neat and tidy. He always keeps everything really nice. My office is usually a mess because I'm working on many things at the same time. We both enjoy cooking, and we both enjoy learning how to cook new food. Okay, he was a teacher, but he retired last year, and now he lives in California in a house that has its own swimming pool. So he enjoys doing that, and we sometimes talk on Skype and send emails. So that's about my friend. What I'd like you to do this week on Flipgrid is think about when you were younger. Who was your best friend? It can be any age. It can be like when you were an elementary school student, junior high, high school, whatever. Who was your best friend? And just tell us about her or tell us about him. And use some of these sentences. Okay? All right. Thank you. Stay healthy. And goodbye till next time.